I just ran for 3 miles. I think I'm gonna die. All right, now none of you believe that I just ran 3 miles. And the truth is, I really didn't. I didn't run 3 miles. I did go 3 miles. I ran part of it. I probably ran in total maybe a mile out of the whole thing. I don't know. I watch my heart rate and I try to pay attention to that. So if it gets too high, I back off. And then when it gets low enough, then I'll run a little bit more. I figured I needed to give you guys an update in regards to my weight loss. Back in one of my earlier vlogs, I talked to you about losing weight and kind of going through the motions of being a fat guy all my life and dealing with that. And I know I'm not the only guy that goes through those things. So I figured this kind of could be sort of a journey that we could take together. This Christmas, my family and I, we're actually going to Portland, Oregon. We're going to Mount Hood. We're going to go visit my daughter who lives out there. And then it's my son's senior year in high school. So he asked if he could take his senior trip and go snowboarding. When we lived in Northern California, we used to snowboard a lot, and he really loved that. So we're going to go up there. We're going to go do some snowboarding and really have a good time. But as a fat guy, you can imagine a couple of days on the mountain. If you've never been snowboarding, it's super fun. It's one of my favorite activities. Matter of fact, if I could be a bum and live on a resort somewhere and just snowboard every day, I would totally do it. But it's a super intensive sport. It's very physically demanding, and being overweight and being somewhat out of shape, snowboarding for a couple of days is a very difficult task. And so I've been spending these last couple of months doing P90X, and my wife and I just went for a walk and a jog this morning. And I'm trying really, really hard to get in shape so that I can go and enjoy this time with my family and enjoy a couple of days on the mountain, because it's really going to be a blast. So I figured I would talk to you guys about, what I'm going through in my journey. And you can see here I got my my blueberry smoothie, and this is my breakfast and lunch together, actually. I don't know if you struggle with your weight. A lot of you younger guys that are probably watching this isn't something that you deal with, although, maybe there's some of you that do. And don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to connect with me and to share your journey with me, because if I struggle with it, and like I said before, I've pretty much struggled with my weight all my life. So, maybe you're in that same boat. Maybe you feel bad, and one of the ways you cover it up, being a guy that grew up in the South, the way you cover up emotions is you eat. If you have a good time, you eat. If you're having a hard time or a bad time, you eat. That's just what we do in the South. And as a guy with maybe the genetics that doesn't necessarily complement that style of living, you turn into a guy like me where you get up to 260 pounds. There was a time in my life where I probably hit close to about 300 pounds. I was a big dude, and I had gotten to a point where I was wearing size 44 pants, and I was about to have to go to 46s. This was years ago, and I told myself I can't do this anymore. And I went on a diet. I started following the low carb Atkins plan, and I lost a significant amount of weight. I dropped down to just under 200 pounds, like the 190 mark, something like that. And I kept it off for a while, but if you diet and you don't change your lifestyle, ultimately you gain it back. And so over these last, I'll say 10 years, 12 years, I've put on a significant amount of that weight back. I mean, it's been slow. It hasn't been something where I just gained it all back at one time. But at my highest, I got up to 262 pounds, and that was as of this summer. And so I just decided that I've got to make a change. And my son-in-law has been a super big inspiration to me. About a year and a half ago, he started doing P90X, and he has lost an incredible amount of weight. I mean, you have to see this guy. It's impressive to see what he's done to his body and the discipline that he has created as a result of actually going through that process and doing that. And so that has inspired me. And so I hope that maybe my journey, if I share what I'm going through with you guys and the journey that I'm taking, and surely I'm not going to show you me doing exercises or taking you on a jog. It's not pretty. Nobody wants to see that. However, if I can talk through my challenges, the things that I go through, I'll share those things with you guys. And you can feel free to comment below and share your thoughts and your journey. Let's do this together. My wife and I have agreed that over these next 30 days, as we're leading up to these final weeks to this trip, that we're going to make a serious commitment to health in the way that we eat and exercising and just being really disciplined, which is crazy timing being that Thanksgiving is next week. So not saying that we're going to go crazy, but we'll probably indulge a little bit in some of the Thanksgiving treats that you would normally expect. But we're going to be mindful of what it is that we're doing and what our goals are and what we're going to do. For me, I'm down, at this point, I'm down 25 pounds. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. I feel a lot better. My joints and everything feel significantly better. And I feel better than I have in a really long time. My goal really is to lose another 30 pounds. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do that in the course of the next 30 days. That wouldn't even be healthy if I did it. But I am going to try to make a significant dent in the amount that I need to lose. And all I'm doing is I'm eating clean. I'm trying really hard to eat natural foods. I'm not eating processed foods. I'm trying to eat a lot of really good organic proteins and a lot of vegetables too. And then there's certain vegetables that I'm trying to avoid and such. But I can share some details. I'll share some details in the comments below of kind of my eating style, my eating plan. And you guys comment on that and let me know what you think about it. If you're on a weight loss journey, let's connect. Get connected with me. Let's do this together. We'll make it a group project. We'll have a lot of fun. I use Beachbody On Demand. Thank you so much, Tony Horton, and what you do, man. That whole program that you got out there is phenomenal. I really enjoy it. It kicks my butt, but I enjoy it, especially like the MMX workout in P90X3. And then the core to force workouts, I'm doing some of those too. If you're looking for a program, feel free to check that out. It's pretty awesome. I'm not getting paid to endorse Tony Horton and Beachbody, but I just figured I would share something that I'm finding success with and really enjoying at the same time. This afternoon, I'm going to head over to the skate park. I'm going to talk to some kids about the way that they feel, the way that they see themselves. Because, if you have a negative disposition and if you see yourself in a negative way, you're probably going to do destructive things. If you see yourself in a positive way, and if you think that you have purpose and that there's some meaning for your existence, you're probably going to carry yourself a whole lot differently. So let's go talk to some kids. We'll go meet up, see what's going on over there. I'm sure it's freaking crazy. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving, but we'll see if we can sit down with a couple of guys and see what they have to say. Hey, film us for a second, would you? Big shout out to Theo. His birthday is tomorrow. How old are you?
I'm turning 13.
Happy birthday. So I'm here at SFC Jericho skate park in Daytona Beach, and I'm with Damien. You guys have met Damien before.
Stand up.
Now I'm going to ask these guys some fairly big questions. They have no idea what the questions I'm going to ask them are, and I know that they're difficult. So Damien, how old are you?
I'm 15.
I'm 15. So Damien's 15. And what is your purpose in life?
Well, I think my purpose in life is to be someone that helps kids that get messed with for riding a scooter, to get better at it so they don't get messed with, because it's kind of aggravating, and try to get them to know that when someone says something to you about scootering, not to go off on them, because it makes you look childish too, as well as they are. So I want to help them get better at it, because once you start learning bigger tricks, they'll stop messing around with you.
Okay. Now, what do you do when you fail? So let's say that you're trying to learn some tricks. How do you handle failure?
One, I don't land a trick. I usually get disappointed in myself, and then I go sit down for a little bit, get a drink, chill out, and then I go back out, and if I can't land it after that, I usually just go inside, chill again, and just hang out with my friends, try to take it off my mind, and then the next day I come back and try it again.
Okay, and that disappointment is real, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes me pretty mad.
So Damien, let me ask you, how do you help other people deal with disappointment?
I usually talk to them about like just go and do exactly what I said, like in the first part where he asked me what I do. I like tell them just to go chill out, and then when I tell them to go inside, like I usually go on the inside with them and talk to them about it. Not all the time, but usually. And then when they're ready for it, they go back out and start trying it. Then they'll start telling me to wash them, so I go up there and wash them, and then they ask for tips. Then I try helping them with that, and usually helps them out because it takes it off their mind again that they weren't landing at it first, so they do it again, and then they get better at it.
Right on, man. Thank you. All right, now I'm here with Chance. Chance, how old are you?
12 years old.
Chance is 12. So, Chance, what is your purpose in life?
To be a scooter rider
Is that it?
and to help people.
To help people. Okay. In what way?
Like helping them if they need like something like say helping them with a trick or helping them with any needs that like that kind of.
Okay. Now, Chance, do you ever get disappointed?
Sometimes.
And how do you handle that disappointment?
Just basically by telling myself that don't be disappointed in yourself because you can always power through it and do it again.
Okay. And how do you help other people handle disappointment?
By giving them advice on what they need. Basically just giving them advice on how to handle it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, now I'm here with Damon. Damon, how old are you?
I am 13 years old.
Damon is 13. Okay, Damon, big question. What is your purpose in life? Why do you exist?
My purpose is to, I came into this world because I wanted to ride a scooter and fulfill my passion, and that's hopefully what I'm going to do in the future.
Okay. Now, do you ever get disappointed?
Yes, when I don't land a trick, or even outside of scootering, when, say, I fail a test in school or anything else, but I just take a breather and hope for the best that I can either make up the test or I can land the trick the next day or next time I go to the skate park.
Okay, so those are good ways that you handle your disappointment. How do you help other people handle disappointments that they may have?
I basically tell them the same thing, like say they are trying a trick and they fall and they throw their scooter. I just tell them to take a breather, go inside, maybe get a drink to cool themselves off, and then hopefully they can go outside and be not frustrated anymore and try the trick again and hopefully land it.
Okay, cool, man. Thank you very much. And now I'm here with Garrett. Garrett, how old are you?
I'm 12.
Garrett's 12. All right, Garrett, big question.
Okay.
What is your purpose in life?
My purpose in life is to progress daily and get better at everything I do and just keep working hard.
Awesome. Now, Garrett, do you ever get disappointed?
Yeah, in certain tricks that I do, I kind of get mad or whatever. So,
That happened a little bit today when we were
Yeah.
filming your tricks.
yeah.
Now, how do you handle that disappointment?
I just tell myself to like keep going and like just try and push through it.
Okay. Now, how do you help other people handle the disappointments that they might have?
I give them encouragement and just like tell them that they can do it and like that you're just gonna make it through anyways. Like it's gonna be over at some point.
Right on. Thanks, Garrett.
Uh-huh.
All right, lastly, I'm here with Elijah. Elijah, how old are you?
12 years old.
All right, Elijah's 12, so here's the big question. What is your purpose in life? Why do you exist?
I really don't know actually.
Okay, that's okay. That's a fair answer. Not everybody knows what their purpose is, and that's okay. Do you ever get disappointed?
Yes.
Okay, and how do you handle your disappointments? How do you deal with your disappointments?
So like say for example I trying this trick and I can't like land it, I just keep trying. If I don't get it, I know I could probably get it the next day.
Okay. Now, how do you help other people handle their disappointments?
By telling them to like get more speed or something, and telling them how much height you need, and yeah.
You just encourage them.
Yeah, encourage them to do it.
Okay, right on, man. Thank you so much. I get the privilege of spending time with these kids on a weekly basis through the ministries of SFC Jericho, and then on Monday nights when we do our skatepark Bible studies, I sometimes get the opportunity to teach on those nights as well. And a couple of weeks ago, I was able to teach on purpose, and the response that these kids had during that teaching really blew me away. And so this is really a continuation of being able to talk with these kids on a deeper level about what they see their purpose is. Now, granted, these are young guys. They don't really quite understand purpose yet, but there's a scripture that comes to mind for me, and we hear it a lot. It's in Jeremiah 29, but there's more to the scripture than what we normally read. Let me read it to you. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity." Now, most of us don't normally think of ourselves as being in captivity. Like here in the United States and the way we live our lives, we don't think of ourselves as being captives. But aren't we sometimes captive to fear? Aren't we sometimes captive to things that hold us? Like for me, my weight, being self-conscious about my weight, or even food, being held captive by food, a slave to food. We don't think of it in those terms, but we really are. We're held captive by those things. So maybe you don't know what your purpose is, just like Elijah. It's not uncommon. I mean, we can make stuff up and we can say, well, this is what I'm going to be when I grow up, right? But that's not necessarily your purpose. Maybe that's something that you do. The Lord encourages us here in Jeremiah 29 to seek Him with all of our heart. And if we seek Him with our whole heart, that we will find Him. And there's another promise in this scripture that He promises that He wants to give us hope and a future, and He wants to prosper us, not to harm us. So if you don't know what your purpose is, seek Him and you will find Him. And in finding Him, you'll find your purpose. I love you guys. God bless.